what was your thing that stood out the most on your resume whenever you were coming out of college? How you said earlier that you weren't necessarily the best student whenever it came to the numbers game, but whenever it came to, in general, what kind of student were you? Were you pretty focused, or was it kind of what was your thing that stood out the most on your resume whenever you were coming out of college?
I was very focused. I was not the procrastinator who would wait until the last day to study for a test. I'd start studying,
Yeah,
2 weeks in advance for the test.
yeah,
Always got all my homework done on time. I was, yeah, I was diligent and focused
yeah,
and disciplined. But it didn't come easy to me. I had
yeah.
a friend I remember who, a very close friend of mine, to this day, one of the smartest people I've ever met, both practically and analytically. And we had this physics class together, and uh, uh, it was set up so that you could take the test at a testing center. So it wasn't like a
Hmm.
specific day or a specific time in a specific room. There's like a 3-day window during which you could just walk into this testing center and take it. He had not studied at all and walked past the testing center one day and just on a whim thought, I'll just take it now. Might as well. I'm walking past the building, so I'll just take it now. So he walked in and just aced it, right? 100%, no problem. Me, on the other hand, I studied for, probably a good solid week or something, and I think I got like a C or something on it, right? So it was academics were not my strong suit. I have since learned that that's just not my forte. It's not where I thrive. I'm good enough academically, right? I'm good enough in my analytical intelligence, but I'm never gonna be like the engineer who just knows all the equations, understands all the physics, knows how to apply them in every situation. That's not me. What I am really good at is organization and communication. And something I've learned is that as an engineer, you can go to a certain level if let's say you're the smartest engineer in the room. You
Hmm.
can get to a certain point in your career. But if you don't have good communication skills, there's going to be a limit uh, to your advancement versus, let's say that your analytical skills are pretty good. Maybe they're like 80th percentile or something. They're good enough anyway. But you have really good practical intelligence, really good communication skills, organization skills. If you have really good, I'll just call them soft skills, and good enough technical skills, there's almost no limit to how far you can go. So uh, you need to be uh, gifted enough when it comes to the technical skills, but it's really the soft skills that help take you to the next level.
Yeah, thank you for answering that. And the reason why I asked that question is because, unfortunately, I started trending a little bit for me on YouTube recently because one of my videos about why the engineering dropout rate was so high. I guess the semester just ended and people were upset. But I think that, people lean so hard on GPA and grades and these numbers, but really, like you said, it's not the most important thing for your career development, and it shouldn't be the reason why somebody quits engineering, in my opinion. If you have the passion and you have the organizational skills, if you can just make it through, I think it's worth pursuing and worth continuing to do so that that way you can do the kind of fun, cool jobs that people at your company get to do. Were you that same kind of student all the way through from college to high school, all the way through? Or did it kind of that motivation and that focus kind of kick into gear once you finally got to college?
Yeah, it was in college. In high school, I did fine. I got mostly A's and B's. I didn't have to try very hard in high school. I guess it was just
Yeah.
easier, and I did not have good study habits. I wasn't very focused. I was much more focused on going to the beach and surfing with my friends, right? That's what I lived for during high school. Then I got to college and I realized, oh shoot, this is a different game altogether. It was way harder. There were a lot of really smart people there, and it wasn't easy anymore. I actually had to study. I had to put in the time. So I had to learn how to study and how to learn at college, and that was definitely a wake-up call.
Yeah, but it's not too late when you get to college too, and I think that a lot of people also will count themselves out if they're like, "Oh, I wasn't the smartest, I wasn't the top of my class," or "Oh, I don't really know how to study." Or also, it's also a wake up call for people that hey, you just because you did well as well in high school, there's those skills that you need to develop and refine because. Yeah, as you said, organizational skills they contributed to you getting through college and they will contribute to everybody getting through college because not unless you're that whiz bang, ultra smart wizard at engineering, then you're definitely going to need those skills to
Yeah.
get through.
Thank you so much for watching this segment of the Engineering Success Podcast. If you liked it, make sure to check out the other videos down below that are recommended to you. And if you really like the podcast, make sure to subscribe right down there in the middle. We really appreciate it. It's free to you and helps us a lot out. And last but not least, the best way to help the show grow is to comment down below. So leave your comment if you have any thoughts about this segment. Thanks.
Chasing payments, still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.